It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And welcome into another edition of Tiger Talk. Fort Hays State coming off a nice road win, 28-21 at Missouri Southern on Saturday to move to 4-2 overall, 3-1 in the MIAA. Back at home this Saturday night, final night game of the season to take on Central Oklahoma, the defending MIAA champs, in a 7 o'clock kick at Lewis Field. We're glad to have you with us here today. We'll recap the Southern game. We'll preview the Broncos and a lot in between. Certainly you can chime in with a question. Go to the FHSU Athletics website, FHSUathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab. You get the drop-down menu. You'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. Submit your question. If we use it, a chance to win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt. Had a few questions emailed in over the weekend. We'll get to them a little bit later on in the program. Of course, if you miss any portion of today's show, you can always listen to it on Hays Post, the Defend the Fort podcast. We'll have a replay, and then the video replay will be up a little bit later on tonight. Jordan will get that up and running, so you have a chance to watch Tiger Talk if you so desire. If you miss any part, you want to go back and listen to it because it'll be some compelling stuff. You want to make sure you get it all in before the Tigers take on UCO Saturday. We bring in the head coach of Fort Hays State, Chris Brown. Congratulations. I know after the game, you weren't totally thrilled with everything, but it's a win. It's a road win, and in the MIAA, and we've seen it this year, there are no easy wins. There are no bad teams, and a road win's a road win, and you got that done on Saturday.
It is. I think that's more coaches than anything else. You know, you're never satisfied. You're never happy. I mean, there's always something that you can work on to get better. But, you know, it is a good win for us. I mean, it's on the road. They've improved and then gotten better each and every year under Coach Atiba Bradley. And, you know, there's just some things in that game that, you know, we have to do better and some things that we need to eliminate. And we need to start doing the good stuff all the time and eliminating the things that we're not doing so well right now. So, and that's on both sides of the ball and even on special teams and things like that. But as a coach, you're never satisfied. You always want things to be perfect. Things aren't going to be perfect. You know that all the time. But I thought the effort was there. I mean, I thought our kids played hard, you know, continuously throughout the game. I think it's just a lack of, you know, focus sometimes and just mental mistakes that you know, gave up some points in that game or stopped some drives in that game as well.
Well, one thing you said after the game, consistency, and that's probably been the biggest thing. This team has shown flashes of being really, really good, and then they'll have a few negative things happen to them. But just getting that consistent play week in, week out, and for an entire game, because don't feel it's been there for a full 60 minutes yet. You've been close, but not all the way through.
Yeah, it is, and it's just, I mean, it's always just like one guy here or there not doing their job, doing their assignment, and it's just, you know, we have a lot of new faces, and I think that's hard to you know, wrap your mind around that we have, you know, you're so used to the same guys being there for so long, and now we have a lot of new faces in the back end, especially in the secondary, and a lot of new faces at receiver, and, you know, at running back position is a lot of new faces because, you know, we were so used to Watts and TD, and, you know, we don't have those, so we're just trying to get these guys to figure out what we're doing offensively and defensively, and it's slowly coming, and you can see the improvement. You can see things are getting better, and guys are doing the things that they're supposed to do. It's just we got to start doing things a lot faster than what we're doing them right now.
Well, you had a good performance from Joshua Clark. He didn't start, but he played a lot and had a big run in the game to set up a touchdown. Ran for over 100 yards. It's always nice. You had another game in which you rushed for over 200 yards. It's back-to-back games now. And I know you like to establish the run first, and everything else can play off of that. And it's 2 games in a row now. You've done a really good job of getting over 200 yards.
Yeah, we need to continue with that, right? And it's just that's how the game of football works. If you can run the ball and really make them focus on, stopping the run, that's really going to open up your pass game. Where if you can't run the ball, you just become one-dimensional. It's hard to win ball games. But we need to continue to do that. Our O-line did, fairly well in that game, and there's still some things that we have to work on. Really more the double teams, getting the drive, finishing blocks, eliminating the holdings and things like that negate plays. So, but we're getting better. But we still have to be able to run the ball, and I think our backs are starting to finally trust the O-line and where the holes are going to be, and seeing things before they actually happen.
It felt like there were some, you could just see, like especially late in that game, Josh would get the handoff and just. It almost felt like he was just hesitating, but then he'd see the hole, and then he'd bust forward and get about 4 or 5 yards. They seem to be maybe just a little more patience, which you always preach. Sometimes you got to let the play develop, and they seem to have done a much better job of that on Saturday.
Yeah, it's so much different. Is it outside zone? Is it inside zone? Is it our gap schemes? And so, our gap schemes are going to take just a little bit longer because we got guys pulling and kick out blocks and guy leading up on a linebacker, things like whatever it might be. Those take a little bit more time to develop, but it's still just trying to find that double team and where you hit off of, whether it's the zone or inside zone, outside zone, or a gap scheme. But they were a little bit more patient, and then when they saw it, they actually went. And sometimes they didn't see it, right? And then all of a sudden it closed up on them, and we were stuck in the backfield. But they're starting to see things a lot better, and they're getting better each week. And we really need to start seeing some more progress, these next few weeks.
All right. Well, we'll certainly talk more about the game from Saturday. We'll preview Central Oklahoma. Jackson Calzo, our player guest, will be along a little bit later on in the program as well. It'll be fun to chat with him and let you get to know him a little bit better. Tiger Talk brought to you today by Golden Belt Bank. It's banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. More with head coach Chris Brown when we return to Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
We had a guy that came into the bank. His dream was to own a restaurant. He was turned down from multiple banks, and upon coming in here, having a prior knowledge of who he was, we reviewed his business plan, we talked to him, and we felt strongly that we wanted to join him in this adventure. Ever since we joined with him, he has been very, very successful. It's just really nice to be able to be a part of somebody's dreams. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Second down and 5 for the Tigers. Heater to throw. Looks right to the left. Now scrambles to the left. Being chased. He's got running room. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He will walk it into the end zone. Touchdown, Fort Hays State.
Yeah, Tigers score on their first possession Saturday, and they go on to beat Missouri Southern 28-21. You can sync up our radio broadcast with the MIAA Network video feed. Listen to the game on the TuneIn app. Download it to your phone if you don't already have that, and then you'll pause. Whichever's running ahead, either the audio or the video, pause it right before the kickoff, let the other catch up, and you can sync in the radio call with the video feed from the MIAA Network. Caleb Huebner threw for a touchdown pass, ran for 2. He's never shy about using his legs, and had an overall pretty solid game. No interceptions, and good to see him kind of lead that offense to that score on the first drive, which is now something you've done here a couple of times this year, scoring first, which just kind of sets the tone for the game, it feels like.
It does. You got to. When you get the ball first, you got to go score, because if you don't, it just kind of puts field position at a bad advantage for you. And, we've been doing that the last couple of weeks, and we seem to do those things. Good things, usually seem to happen for us. But, he had a pretty good game. Still missed a few shots here and there with receivers and trusting where they're going to be at. And, but he's getting better as the weeks are going on. He's starting to feel comfortable. He's getting healthy now and feeling good. But he's not afraid to use his legs. He really isn't. And, he does really good when he's out in the open and makes things happen. That one touchdown was pretty impressive.
I know we talked to him after the game, and I don't know if he wants to be a coach someday, but he sounds like a coach. Even in a win, he was a lot like you. Hey, that was a nice win, but we didn't play well enough. We need to do better. I need to be better. It's always kind of interesting when your quarterback is that way, but it seems like he's another one. He just seeks perfection every time out there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a coach. I really do.
He acts
when he's
like
all
it.
said and done, just the way he kind of holds himself and carries himself, and as well as he knows the game of football as well, and he gets it. That's a game that we left some points off the board, and we gave up too many big plays, and there's some times where we need to make some things happen offensively, and he always picks them out and knows exactly what they are and where it needs to be done, what needs to be fixed. So it's just how we fix those things and then get guys on the same page.
Defense had 3 takeaways. I guess maybe if you look so far this year, one of the disappointing things, your plus in turnover margin. I know you'd like it to be bigger than it is. +1 right now, 10 takeaways, the 9 giveaways. But in those takeaways, I think you've only scored like 24 points. Have not taken advantage of those takeaways a lot yet to this point.
And that's part of the game, right? Playing complementary football. Defense gets a turnover offensively. We need to go score, and then if we turn the ball over offensively, we can't let them score touchdowns. We got to make them kick field goals or whatever it might be, or get the ball back to our offense. But it's just that complementary football that we're not playing right now. And at times you see it, and when you see it, we look like a really, really good football team. We just got to do that more consistently.
They have a tall freshman quarterback, and you can see signs he's going to be pretty good by the time he gets done. How do you feel defensively? You guys attacked him and attacked that offense, which can be pretty dynamic at times.
I thought I still thought we could have got more pressure on than what we did with our defensive line. Their O-line was much improved from previous weeks, and they really settled in and did a good job of protecting him, but I thought we could have got more pressure on him. I think it's just the 2 big plays that we gave up that really hurt us. The one down the middle and the one right before half where our guys think the clock ran out, but you still got to play until the whistle blows. I mean, we don't give up those 2 plays, it's probably a totally different ball game, and if we score a couple more touchdowns, we might run away with it.
Yeah, let's talk about that play. I know you challenged it. There was no video evidence of that they could look at to make a call either way. I don't know if you've had a chance to. I'm sure you have. Obviously, you've watched the coach's cut, whether it was a touchdown or not. But it's 2 games in a row now they score on the final play. And both times you had guys there, just couldn't make the play. Yeah,
we just kind of make it. And what's crazy is we didn't have video, during the game. A good thing that we didn't, because I would have lost my challenge, because he did catch the ball, his foot was down. Okay. But which is crazy, right, in itself. Like we don't have video there, but somehow I get the video when we actually watch them, because when we go on the road, we take the opponent's video, and that's what we upload and watch our film off of. So, but yeah, we can't allow those things to happen. I mean, we have guys there. We got guys in position to make plays. You never know. Unless the whistle's blown, you got to play football. I mean, we didn't have a pass rush on him at all. Our corner was pointing at the clock thinking it was down, and then we have to go play and make things happen in that situation. But that's unacceptable. Our kids know that's unacceptable as well, and we got to do a better job in those situations, especially right before the half.
Now, you mentioned it because you watched just the MIAA Network's feed, which is produced by Missouri Southern. They didn't get the camera. They missed a 2 on their feed. You don't even see the play. But even if some of their players kind of looked in frustration like they weren't going to get the snap off. So I guess it's one of those. It was a weird ending, but as you said, you got to play. You got to play through it. If there's no whistle, you got to keep going.
Keep going, right, until they start blowing the whistle. If they said the play wasn't going, they'd be blowing the whistle, and it's over. But no whistle blown, you have to go play. I mean, we need to get a pass rush on him and expect him to throw the ball up quick and get hands on receivers and knock that ball out.
Second game in a row, you give up the score right before halftime, and they get the ball to begin the half. The Missouri Western did. You get a stop here. You force a fumble on the very first play. You had to settle for just a field goal out of that, but it was nice to see the defense kind of take ownership for the play and then come out and make a big play to start the second half.
It was a big play. I think it's some miscommunication on their part as well. The quarterback had to scramble. John Johnson did a great job when the quarterback come of punching the ball out, which, our guys have done a really good job of punching at the ball. We didn't do that much when I was in college. We never were taught that, but now you see guys punching at the ball all the time. Like, man, do we even tackle anymore? Do we just punch at footballs? But it was a great turnover for us. Again, in that situation, I mean, that's the start of the half. I mean, we need to go score a touchdown and not settle for a field goal in that situation.
Had a different kicker, Zane Hall. He was with the program last year and was injured, in camp, and finally healthy. And it's David Arriaga couldn't go. When did you know he wasn't going to be able to go? And just your thoughts on Zane filling in and doing a pretty good job, it appeared.
David had some issues on Thursday's practice. We were hoping that Friday being off, he'd kind of heal up and be ready to go. Just a little strain is what it is, and then it's basically like the 60-minute mark, of okay, where are we at? How you feeling? And he made the decision that he couldn't go for us today, and looked at Zane and said, Zane said, I'm ready. And, he really stepped in and did a great job for us. Made the field goals we needed to make, made all the PATs, and did a great job on his kickoffs, getting it down to the end zone.
Well, you did a good job of letting him kick with the wind most of your scores, and so he had that aid. Had a lot of, 4 touchbacks in the game, and really did a nice job. Because we saw David warming up in pregame, and then saw Zane out there. But good to see him step into a role, and it's like we always hear next man up, and he was ready for the challenge.
He was ready. That's why I told guys, always be ready, because you never know when your number is going to be called. And if you don't prepare, if you're, even during the football game, if you're not paying attention to the game and seeing the calls and understanding the calls and seeing what the offense is doing and what the defense is doing, you're not going to be ready to step on the field and play for us. So you got to stay locked in and ready to go, because it's one play away, and you might be the guys going next.
Well, we'll talk more about the win over Missouri Southern. Of course, preview Central Oklahoma, which is coming up Saturday night. We'll get to your questions, and you can still chime in. Go to FHSUathletics.com, click on the Fans tab, and then when you get the drop-down, look for Ask the Coach on that lower right-hand column. And if we use your question, a chance to win a T-shirt. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 lined up from over the weekend. We'll get to those a little bit later on in the show. Tiger Talk brought to you by United Rentals of Hays, your partner for equipment rentals, sales, and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals in Hays. We'll take a break. We'll bring in our player guest today, Tiger Junior safety Jackson Calzo. He'll join us next on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call on BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
Heater to throw, looks right now, left, Cormidy's open, touchdown! Fort Hays State, right near the front left pylon. Cale Cormody, the Fort Hays State senior tight end, hauls in his second touchdown catch of the year, number 8 in his career, and Fort Hays State adds to the lead at 16-7.
Yeah, 17-7 after the extra point. Fort Hays State had the lead in the second quarter. Some of the action from Saturday in the win over Missouri Southern down in Joplin. Look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop. You'll find hundreds of products and designs, and every one of them is customizable. FHSUathletics.com. Then click on Shop and open up the Tiger Team Store. Gerard Welbrock joined now by Tiger Junior safety Jackson Calzo, the Salina native. Jackson, appreciate you joining us today, and congratulations on the win. I know everybody's striving to put everything together, but bottom line, we talked about it with Coach. MIAA's tough. There really are no bad teams, and you get a road win. You need to celebrate that and be happy, and obviously a lot more to play. But that was a nice job of getting it done on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Just talk about the game a little bit. We mentioned with Coach, they have a freshman quarterback, a big tall guy, some really good receivers, good running game. Just talk about the game plan going in and how you felt you executed that throughout the day Saturday.
We just kind of wanted to take away the run. We knew that they were going to take big shots, and unfortunately we gave up 2 big plays in the first half that kind of hurt us a little bit. But outside of that, I thought that we did a very good job as a defense, executing our game plan and doing what we needed to do.
Glades, their running back, he was hurt last year. He had ran for over 100 yards against Fort Hays State earlier in his career. You held him to 40, and you did a pretty good job against that running game. And I know we talk with Coach Brown all the time. Fort Hays State wants to establish the run. If you can do that, you feel like you can control the game and work things around it. I'd imagine defensively it's kind of the same thought. If you can take away the run, you have a chance to kind of get a stranglehold there.
Yeah, if you can take away the run, I mean, it opens up a lot of things that you can do defensively. Offenses love to run the ball. Once you get that run established, then it opens up everything for you offensively. You can RPOs and play action passes. But if you can't get the run going, it kind of hurts you a little bit. So we look to take that run away.
Being a safety, just talk about the challenges of that. Reading the plays, you mentioned the RPOs, the run-pass option. The challenge in reading that properly so you can make the right read and make the play.
Yeah, no, it is difficult because sometimes those big guys get in the way. You get run reads, and it's not a run sometimes. And so you just have to stay disciplined and make sure that you do your job because you are the last line of defense. So.
I know Coach has talked about the new faces. He mentioned it earlier in the program, and we've talked a lot this year about the back end of the defense being inexperienced. Some guys aren't necessarily young, but playing more in different roles than they've had up to this point in their career. You're one of the veterans. You kind of worked your way into the starting lineup midway last season. You're kind of the guy who had the experience. Talk about that and kind of guide these younger and inexperienced players, and how do you feel everybody has progressed throughout the course of the year now that we're halfway through?
Yeah, being the guy with the experience is definitely weird because last year walking in to the defense, all those guys had 2+ years of experience at least, so it's different for me this year. But I think the guys that have been playing this year, they've stepped up big time. We weren't super comfortable the first couple of games together, but now I think that we're starting to click pretty well together, so we're getting there for sure.
What was it like for you coming in? Like we said last year, you earned your role as a starter as the season went along, and you've been there ever since. Just talk about your progression, your development as a player, and then once you became a starter, what's that's been like?
When at the beginning of the year last year, it's just working every single day, being ready. My number got called a couple times, and it's just being able to step up when you needed to. And then starting last year, it's different. You're not playing for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into this role. It was nice being back on the field, but it was definitely like one of those moments where it's, you have to be ready for it. And those guys I played with last year did a great job of helping me be ready for it.
And I'm sure that helped, seeing how they led as veterans. A guy like you who didn't have the experience, I'm sure you took a lot from them in what you're doing this year as the veteran back there.
Yep, definitely. And, the guys are stepping up. Another guy he hasn't had a whole bunch of experience, but he's starting to be very vocal, is Mike Chavez. Mm-hmm. He's been helping out, so it's not just me out there that's being a leader. He's helped with the back end quite a bit too.
He had a big game Saturday. He was active. He had an interception. I think he forced a fumble and just a lot of big plays. And it just seems like you got several guys. John Johnson also at linebacker, just all over the field and just disruptors for the opponents.
Yeah, Mike found his way around the ball a couple times on Saturday, so he was happy about that. But yeah, takeaways is huge for us. We need to make more of them happen, and that's what we've been looking to do.
Coach mentioned a couple big plays that were key. One 70-yarder for a touchdown, the other right before halftime. And I know last week a lot of talk about the you guys as players kind of taking ownership and correcting it in the locker room before the coaches even came in to speak. What was it like Saturday? It's the second game in a row now. You give up a big long touchdown pass right before halftime, and on the broadcast we were kind of wondering, okay, last week it kind of galvanized everybody and you got free focus. Happens again, you wonder how everybody was going to react. You had to be pleased with how everybody did. You force the fumble and you get a takeaway on the very next possession.
Yeah, going into halftime, it was just kind of a lot of confusion. We had guys that were ready to play, and then we had a couple guys that didn't know what was going on, thought the game was over or the half was over. So we tried to get on the same page, and we just weren't able to, and that led to a big play. So we got into halftime, and it was kind of one of those things. It's like, I can't believe that we just let this happen again. We had a whole talk about it last week, but we, as a defense, we regrouped, and John made a great play coming out of half, and we got the ball back. So
talk about what's it going to take to, a few of these breakdowns. It seemed like there's less of them now than there was earlier in the year, but to try to eliminate a few more of those.
Just staying disciplined and knowing your job. That's huge. If the ball's in there, we have to go make a play on it as DBs, and just not allowing things like that to happen.
Jackson Calzo from Salina. He's our player guest today. Tiger safety, wears number 1. You bring a little physicality to the game ever since you've moved into the starting role. Is that something you've always had? Did you have to learn that? Has that just always been there for you?
It's just kind of always been there. My dad helped out with it a little bit, but ever since I was little, I don't know why, I've just liked to hit people. So. Well,
that's a good thing, and it seems like that's one of those situations that it can be contagious. You get a big hit or someone else gets a big hit. It just the rest of the defense seems to follow suit. But it's got to be got to be satisfying, especially a safety, when you go in there and get a big hit and kind of change maybe momentum with one big play.
Oh, yeah, getting a big hit is probably one of the greatest feelings that there is. And once you get one, you want another one. So sometimes you have to be careful with it, because sometimes Coach Brown's talked to me about it, that you just have to make the tackle sometimes, and not everything has to be a big hit.
Yeah, just going to bring that up, because there are times, obviously, when it's there and it's in front of you, you want to make the big hit, but other times just making a tackle, and we see sometimes someone goes in, not necessarily just you, and you look for the big hit and you miss the play, that ends up being a positive play for the other team. I'm sure that is that fine line of knowing when to go for that big hit, maybe a momentum turner, or when you just, hey, a tackle's good here and that's okay.
Yeah, there's times, open field, you just need to make a tackle, but sometimes when a guy's held up, or, there's guys around, you can take the shot and hopefully get a big hit.
All right, Central Oklahoma comes to town. I know it's early in the week and you're doing all your prep now, but they're the reigning conference champs. Been a little rough go. They've had some injuries, but they've got the quarterback back, and certainly know how it went a year ago down to their place. That was never close. Just your thoughts real quick on UCO. Big challenge on Saturday night.
It's a huge challenge. I mean, they're a very explosive team. They move fast, and they will take shots also. They've got a good running back, and their receivers they're all pretty good. So it's a big challenge for us defensively this week.
All right, we're going to get to know a little bit more about Jackson. We'll also have our Ask the Coach question, but we're at the bottom of the hour. So first, we need to squeeze in 10 seconds for station identification. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network.
Beers, wines, and spirits. Pick up a winner at Kaiser Liquor with 2 convenient locations in Hayes. Tiger Radio, Mix 103.3, KJLS, Hayes.
Back on Tiger Talk, we are visiting with Jackson Calzo, junior safety, big number 1 out there for Fort Hays State on defense. Salina native, Salina Central grad. Just talk about how you found Fort Hays State and your journey to become a Tiger.
For football, I didn't really look to get recruited. I thought I was always going to play baseball. So then my head coach at Salina Central, Mark Sandbo, he went to Fort Hays and kind of got me in contact with Coach Brown. So then I went on a visit here and talked to Coach Brown, and I was sold. There wasn't anywhere else I wanted to go, so that's how I ended up here.
What position you play in baseball?
Shortstop.
So I wondered about that. Was it a tough decision to decide to pursue football?
No, not really. It was just kind of one of those things. After my last high school game, it's like, I don't want to be done playing football. So my dad didn't take it all that well at first, because he's a huge baseball guy. But then I think he finally came around for football once he came and watched a couple games.
Well, he's got to be enjoying seeing you out there now and how you're playing. Now, as you said, you're Salina South or Salina Central grad, and we learned earlier this year your roommate is Kason Dietz. He's a Salina South grad. How did that come about, and how's that going?
Well, I had one other guy, Angel Luna from Salina Central. He came up here with me, and we were supposed to room together, but our rooms got mixed up. So then I ended up with Kason Dietz, and the first couple weeks, I don't know if it was like we were hesitant to talk to each other, but we didn't talk too much. So it's just kind of like we went back to our rooms and went to bed and didn't get to know each other that well, but now we're great friends.
Well, that's cool to see. So a Salina South grad and a Salina Central grad, they can get along.
They can.
See, there's hope for our world yet. If that can happen, there's hope for everybody. And it's got to be proud for Salina to have both of you guys go. But I'm sure there's trash talking before the South Central game every year.
Yes, there is, just a little bit.
So, and how did you do when you played against them?
We were 3-1.
Okay, I thought you won most of them. I know they had the upper hand. So, all right, Jackson Calzo, the Salina Central Mustang. All right, it's time now we're going to bring Coach back up here. Our traditional, we'll end the segment with our player. Ask the Coach. Your chance to ask Coach Brown anything. Again, always reminder that he runs practice, so you got to be. But we don't want you to. We don't want that to hinder your question. And we've had some great ones each segment here, so the pressure's on. But Jackson, your chance. Anything that's just been, man, I'd really like to get to know Coach. I'd like to ask him this. Here's your chance. Fire away. Ask Coach Brown.
I just want to ask him if he's ever had a coach or a player that's more competitive than him, or that gets more juiced up for games.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a real good one.
I had a young man when I was at Washburn. I'm not going to say his name. That he was so juiced during this football game. We were getting ready to play Pitt State, that he completely forgot everything we were doing defensively. Everything. He got beat for like 2 or 3 touchdowns, in the first quarter. I'm like, you have to calm yourself down just a little bit. So that might be a little bit too much juice when you can completely just lose your mind and not know exactly what's going on. But after that, he changed it. Was a good player for us. Great kid. Lives in, I think, the Wichita area now. Got 3 or 4 kids as well, and married, and he's doing awesome. So, but that's the kid that's pretty juiced. But I got a little juice on Saturday.
I was going to say, it'd be hard to find someone more than you.
Yeah, you got some. You're one of those guys as well. You bring a lot of juice and energy. JJ started to do those things as well, but I think that one kid at that time he was a little bit over the top on that day.
Well, Jackson, great question, and I guess you're kind of playing off of that fine line. You want to play with emotion, you want to play with energy, but there's that fine line of still doing it within the confines of being able to do your job and not let that overtake you.
Yeah, it's controlled emotion, right? If you can't control it, then there's you got to have the energy, you got to have the excitement, you got to have the grit, and toughness and tenacity and all those different things that go into it. But if you can't control it, then it doesn't work out for you very well. So there's that fine line of not going too far over it where you just can't play, and then there's that line where you got to be at to go make plays and make things happen.
How do you handle that as a player? I mean, do you find that sometimes maybe I gotta tone it down here and get locked in?
You just have to find the things that work for you. You have to know that you can't get too amped up before a game. Just kind of stay calm, but once it is time to go, you got to get amped up. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, Jackson, great question. Appreciate you joining us today. It's been real fun to watch you out there, and good luck Saturday against the Broncos and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
There you go. Jackson Calzo, our player guest today on Tiger Talk. Program brought to you by BTI. They're your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. Back after this on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hayes. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. Down to the taco shop.
They hand it off to Clark, looks for a hole, cuts up the middle, he's at midfield, breaks the tackle. Clark at the 40, angles near numbers 30, to the 25, to the 20, 15, 10, and shoved out of bounds inside the 5. R.J. Hill saves the touchdown. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 2-yard line on a 58-yard run for Josh Clark.
Yeah, longest run in Josh's career, longest rush from scrimmage for the Tigers this year. They go on to win 28-21 at Missouri Southern on Saturday. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you today by the Taco Shop. Order by phone. Use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Nice to visit with Jackson Calzo, and he was the one veteran. And you say that he started about half of the season a year ago at safety, so still trying to figure that out a little bit in his career. But he's been one of those guys you had to kind of lean on to help some of these new, younger guys get comfortable in that back end of the defense.
Yeah, and he has. He's done a good job. I mean, it's like the UCO game was after the UCO game last year is when he kind of started making his starts for us, and he came in and did a really good job last year. Probably what the sad thing is, he had some injuries and, missed out on the spring, which really would have benefited him a lot. So he was trying to catch up, through fall camp this year, and he did some summer stuff too as well. But, he's been that leader back there, getting guys coached up, understanding what they're doing. Chavez is one of those as well. Mm-hmm. He's really helped Koa McIntyre, come along, in this process. And, he just helps guys grow every day. He does bring some intensity to the game as well, which is awesome to see. And he's a physical kid. So, and that's why we always talk about defensively as being, the most physical team on the football field, because that's going to create turnovers for us.
You mentioned Chavez. He was active. He forced a fumble, I think. He had the interception. I mean, he was just active and seemed to be involved in a lot of big plays on Saturday.
He was he just happened to be around the ball, right? He caused the fumble. He recovered JJ's fumble, I believe. He had his own interception as well. Made some nice tackles as well. So, yeah, he had a wonderful day. I mean, that's pretty awesome to see a kid have that kind of day. And, it's see the excitement in his face and being able to make those plays, and his teammates being happy for him as well. So it's pretty cool to see.
You mentioned J.J. John Johnson. He had another big day. Led you in tackles with 10. Had a sack. He had an interception. It just hit him right in the hands, and I think he was looking because he had a lot of room. Who knows where that ends up if he hangs on to that. He may have been Defensive Player of the Week in the MIAA for a second week in a row, but he kind of got off to a bit of a slow start, but, man, last 4, 5, 6 games, it feels like he's been everywhere and just really playing and leading that defensive unit.
Yeah, he's just taking time to evaluate what the offense is doing, seeing how things are happening, and he's got to catch that ball. I mean, hit him in the wrong spot,
right in the hands,
right in the hands, and
I think the problem was he didn't have a club on like he did last year when he had an interception. He wasn't used to having both hands.
That might have been the issue. So we might have to put a club on him. But he has that brace, so that brace kind of helped him out. But yeah, we need to catch that ball. That ends the game definitely right there with our offense. Maybe we go down and score another touchdown. But he's coming in his own. He's doing well. He's getting better each and every week. He's really starting to have that vocal leadership, that we've been looking for, and he's starting to bring that intensity, each and every week as well. But no, he's been playing well for us.
It's you got that 28-14 lead. You score. You get the 2-point conversion. You get the interception from Chavez, had a punt, and then you give up the long scoring drive to get them back in it. But I thought it was important. It was a 14-play drive. It took almost 6 minutes, and you had a big stop on third down to force them to burn a last time out, run another play, which caused some more clock to be run off. Even though you did yield the touchdown, you made them work a lot of time, and it ended up being big because time became a big factor there at the end of the game, and no timeouts.
Yeah, it was, but we need to go score right there. That's just it. I mean, finish the game off, end it, and get this thing over with, and take the time off the clock as well, and just get some first downs, and then the block punt too. Thank goodness that kid went over the top instead of through the shield, through the center of the shield, and went for the block and got the penalty there. But we gave up too many yards in that situation as well defensively. We played just again not to win the game, but don't lose this. We still need to attack in certain situations. Made some bad plays and got to make some things happen where we don't allow that touchdown to happen.
Talk about that rule, because I know it went against you. I can't remember if it was last season or a year before. Maybe Reed Adelhart got called for that. Leaping the shield was what it was called. Maybe just explain that rule a little bit.
To me, it's you got the 3-man shield. The way I understand it is you can jump through the gaps, right? But you just can't jump through the person's face or over the person's head. So that's how I understand it. Last year after watching it with Adelhart when he did it, his was not a penalty as well, which after watching this one and going through it, it's kind of like I'm kind of in between on it because he's kind of in the gap, but he's also kind of over a guy as well. Thank goodness it went to our advantage, because who knows what happens in that situation. But it's the same thing on field goals. You can't leap over guys like that or land on top of them as well. And I think it's more if he landed on top of our guys because he was leaping than anything else. If he would have been through the gap and not leaped and not landed on anybody, he would have been fine. So as long as you don't land on somebody, you're good.
And it's a safety. It's there for safety issues is why that rule's in place, I'd assume.
Yeah, because the kid, he's lucky. He landed straight on top of his head, got flipped, and it's more of a safety thing than anything else, and not just for him, but also for the guys that are blocking as well.
Well, the Tigers find a way to hold on and win that one 28-21, and they'll have Central Oklahoma this weekend, which is going to be a big game. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but it's another week outside of Emporia really getting on Missouri Western, which may be a little surprising, the final margin. A lot of really good games again around the MIAA. I think even the Pitt State win over Kearney was much closer than that. Pitt kind of pulled away late in that one, and we talked about it with you and talked about it with Jackson. There are no bad teams in the MIAA. Missouri Southern's a great example of that, and you can certainly see they can play with anybody. You have to be ready each and every week out, or you're going to be in for a battle.
Oh, it's brutal.
Seems like it's even more so than any before.
Yeah, there are no games off. Emporia beating Western. They went up 21-0, really quick in the first quarter, which, kind of helped them to win by, 50 to, I can't remember what it was, 21, 28, something like that. And then, you looked at the UCM-UCO game. That was a I mean, it was score in the first half, and then it was punt in the second half. So it was crazy in the Pitt, UNK game. I mean, that was a battle till the end as well. I mean, that was a very close game. So then a couple teams had games off. So, but yeah, it's week in, week out. You got to be ready to play. Sometimes it's matchups and how people match up against each other as well. Who's going to win that ball game? So hopefully we match up well against UCO this week and everyone else on down the road. But yeah, it's the little things that it comes down to winning those ball games. Turnovers, not turning the ball over as well, being able to establish the run game, getting some big plays and special teams. I mean, those are huge things in this conference, and you have to be good at all of them, or you're going to lose ball games.
Well, we'll talk more about the Broncos a little bit later on in the program. We need to get to your questions that were submitted through FHSUathletics.com. We'll do that when we return. Remind you that Tiger Talk is presented by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, and windows. Call today for a free estimate. Give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. Back with more Tiger Talk with head football coach Chris Brown on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
First and goal at the 1. There's a keeper by Hebner. Rolls to his left. He gets hit. Lunges forward. Touchdown, Fort Hays State.
Yeah, Caleb Hebner's second of 2 rushing touchdowns Saturday. Tigers beat Missouri Southern 28-21. Now 4-2 overall, 3-1 in the MIAA. Big log jam there, 3-1 teams. Tigers trying to stay in the MIAA chase. Have another big one Saturday at home against Central Oklahoma. We'll preview that here in just a little bit. But we want to get to your questions. We appreciate those who have submitted them. Again, FHSUathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab. You'll get the drop-down menu. There on the lower right side, you'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach, and if we use your question, chance to win a T-shirt. We did have one about replay, and as the officials explained, there was no video that they could review, so you kept your challenge. What are the minimum requirements for replay in the MIAA?
You can't question, penalties and things like that. They kind of, it's more of catches, targeting, those type. But they kind of review targeting themselves now. And it's more of inbounds, out of bounds type things than anything else. Maybe a backward pass, which I should have done 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
When we were playing, I think it was Kearney we were playing. I mean, I should have challenged that. But it was just one of those fine lines. But it's never, a judgment call by the officials. It's got to be like, if it's holding, I don't think that was holding. In some, Canada, you can do those things, right? And pass interference, you can't have any, on those. It's just out of bounds plays is probably the biggest one. And, is it a first down? Did we get the first down or did we not spot the ball? Things like that.
I saw Missouri Southern challenge a spot early on in the game and lost that challenge. But and obviously not having anything to review, whatever the problem was with the system in Joplin, it is an improvement. And the MIAA has been a front runner in that. A lot of pretty much all of Division II has followed their lead. It's gotten better. Really haven't had too many instances where there wasn't a camera angle. Maybe it's not always the best angle. We're not talking an ESPN production for a lot of places, but it's still better. And a lot of times you get it right. I do like the fact that if there's targeting, they now go and check it on their own to make sure that a player's not disqualified who shouldn't be.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, in the past, you used to have to use your challenge and those things, or they'd review it at the half, right, and determine whether it happened or not. Then if it happened in the second half, well, you didn't know. You had to wait till the next game. So now that they review it right away is awesome, because it gives that kid a chance to play or not play, right? So sometimes it's good for you, because if you know it's targeting, you don't want to,
Yeah.
But that's one thing too, right? If you think it's a target, I can go ahead and challenge and say, I think that was targeting, and then you go review it and decide whether it is or not. But our angles are good. I mean, everywhere you're going, there's really good angles. I mean, every place has 4 angles now for the officials to see. Only thing we get on the sideline with the iPads is the 2 angles. So that's all we get from the press box and from the end zones. What the coaches get on the sideline, we don't get the other angles that the officials have.
Well, certainly hope they get it worked out in Joplin for the future. Question about Jonah Smith, listed on the roster roster? Haven't seen him. I know he was hurt early. He's gotten in a little bit here the last couple of ball games. How's his progression?
He's getting better. I mean, it's just, limited with what we can do with him right now until he's fully recovered and has, full strength. So he's still getting in some plays, doing some great things for us. But it's one of those things you can't put him out there, 60 plays because you just don't know how long it's going to hold up. So just trying to keep him healthy for the stretch because we're going to need him down the stretch.
When recruiting athletes, how early in their high school careers do you identify them and then begin contacting them?
It's usually like right in junior year. Right after their junior year, we'll start looking at video. Some are before that, but usually those kids, if we're looking at them when they're younger, we pretty much know they're probably going to go D1 anyway.
Right.
So it's right after their junior year. We start recruiting them, and we kind of get them on our schedule, so going into their senior year as well. But it'll be in the spring. We'll start looking at kids in the spring. Our kids going into their senior year to kind of start recruiting them as well.
Is there any particular strong selling points you use to entice them to sign and become a Tiger?
This is who we are. I mean, I just talk about our culture, and we try to have a championship culture and be winners in all areas of our life. Not only, on the football field, but in the classroom and being respectful and those things. And I mean, that's kind of what we preach to our kids, just being a good person, hardworking, committed to the process and understand the process and know it's not going to be easy because, we are going to put you through some adversity because life's full of adversity as well. But my job is to grow into being a great young man and doing something great with your life when you're done here, not just on the football field. So hopefully that sells them. I don't know if it does or not, but I'm going to go with who we are and what we're about, and if that's for the kid, come on, let's be a Tiger. If that's not you, then maybe you can find another home somewhere else.
Well, it kind of leads into the last question. What physical qualities and character trait guides do you kind of look at to guide your recruiting?
I mean, it's length. I mean, length is a big thing, right now. I mean, you look for corners that are, 6 foot to 6'2" range. You look for safeties, kind of, your true free safety like Jackson. Those guys are 5'10" to 6 foot. The safeties like Chavez and Koa right now. I wish those guys were a little bit taller than what they are and a little bit lengthier. So those guys are probably more corner bodies than anything else. Safeties, linebackers are just guys that are big safeties right now that should move down, and then D linemen, your D ends should eventually become D tackles, and your bigger linebackers should become D ends. And then offensive line, you want the big guys that 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". They can get to 300, 320 pounds and be strong, not a sloppy 300, 320, but be big and strong. And then your quarterback's got to be tall enough to see over. Can he run? Run well enough to get out of trouble, and can he see over the line of scrimmage and throw the ball and make great decisions? And your running backs, they can vary in sizes. I mean, you get a smaller guy that's tough and durable and physical. Like Kenneth Ahim was a perfect example. He wasn't real big, but he saw things well, had good speed, and was pretty physical and tough. And then wide receivers, you want your outside guys to be pretty long and lengthy, so they can go and make plays. And then the inside guys can be a little bit smaller because they're running crossing routes and things like that. But you got to have tight ends that can run routes and they can block as well. So you're looking for the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4"-ish, being able to get them up to like 240, 250 by the time they're done here.
A lot of Cale Corman. He's like to get as many of those as you can.
Cale and Cades.
There you go, exactly. Cade Evans really played well Saturday and has throughout the season. Appreciate all your questions. Submit them. We'll get to them again next week. Chance to win a Mix 103.3 T-shirt here on Tiger Talk. The program brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive and advanced orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? We'll take our final break. We'll preview Saturday night. The Broncos from UCO headed to Hayes. We'll talk about it next here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals in Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine in Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Dooley comes in motion. They string it near side. Heater to throw into the back of the end zone. It is caught for the two-point conversion. Two-point conversion caught by Tariq Logan.
Yeah, the former UCO Bronco, Tariq Logan, with a 2-point catch for Fort Hays State. Put him up 28-14. Had his first career touchdown catch a week ago at home against Missouri Western. Welcome back to Tiger Talk, our final segment with Coach Chris Brown. Fort Hays State UCO, the defending MIAA champions, just 2-3 right now, and 2-2 in the conference. They had some injuries. Their quarterback was injured, and Cottrell, the running back, was hurt a little bit as well. They were back. They played Saturday in a shootout with Central Missouri. They're starting to get healthy again, which makes them a little scary because they're going to be in desperation mode, certainly.
No, they are. They're a good football team, too, and especially when they got those 2 kids back. I mean, they have other running backs that are pretty talented. The backup quarterback's a redshirt freshman. So it just kind of changes your whole offense when your quarterback goes down. And I was hoping he was done for another couple of weeks, but of course he got back last week, and you could tell he was getting his feet wet. But he made some really nice throws, made some really nice plays, scrambled around, looked like the same Jet Huff that's always been there. So we got to find a way to try to keep him in the pocket and get some pressure on him. But they're so skilled at receiver, that's the scary thing. They got so much talent out there, and they're able to establish a run game with the running back core that they have. I mean, they're tough and physical. So, they have all the pieces. We're going to be, at our best this week to beat this team.
Yeah, we was talking about Jet Huff, the quarterback, and all the receivers they have that are also good, but they're second of the conference in rushing. And I think the 2 complement, because you do have to worry about the pass game because it's legit, and the quarterback can also run, but Cottrell's been phenomenal, but they've got more than just him back there. But it's a tough team to slow down because they can hurt you so many ways.
So many ways. I mean, offensive lines, they're not the biggest guys in the world, but they are athletic and they move well, and they make things happen. And they have 3 running backs, but Cottrell's the best. He's good, and the other ones are really good as well. So it's kind of tough. But their run game, they're so fast tempo as well and that's hard to get used to. When you're trying to play a team like this, but they'll spread you out. They'll get into big sets as well. So they do so many different things that you have to prepare for. So you really can't do a lot defensively. You just got to kind of be set and ready, and hopefully hope for the best, and hope your kids make plays.
How do you prepare for that tempo this week?
It's just do a lot before practice. In pre-practice walkthrough where we just bring a bunch of guys. All right, 3 groups, and just go as fast as we possibly can. We try to add some of that during practice as well, and then going against our offense. Try to get them to do a little quick tempo stuff too as well. So it's hard to practice against, but just got to get in there and do it.
And we don't have a lot of time left. They beat you pretty bad at your place last year. I'm sure that still lingers with your guys.
It does. And that's something we were talking about. We got to change that and make sure we go out and play our game and do what we're supposed to do. We got to score some points offensively, control the clock, and then defensively we got to get ourselves off the field. We just can't keep everything in front. Don't give up the big play. Make them earn everything because they do love to live off that big play.
All right, Coach. As always, appreciate the time today. Good show. Good luck at practice this week, and looking forward to Saturday night.
Thanks, Gerard. Appreciate you.
There you go, Chris Brown, coach of the Tigers. Again, 7 o'clock Saturday night, Fort Hays State, Central Oklahoma. Big one in the MIAA at Lewis Field. Hope to see you there. That's wrapping up the show. We'll see you again next Monday here on Tiger Talk.